What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Tony Delerme. Thanks for tuning into a brand new episode of Brother Please Hear Me Out. Now, first things first, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I drop a new video. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitter as well, at tdhiphop media, and if you haven't already, join the text notification group, and you can do that by texting tdhiphop to number 33222. That's tdhiphop to number 33222, and that serves as a protection policy for myself in case YouTube ever decides to shut the channel down. I'll be able to send you a direct text to where you can find me next, or I should say I'll be able to text you a direct link to where you can find me next. And lastly, if you have a genuine love and appreciation for the work that I do on this channel by way of Nah For Real and Brother Please Hear Me Out, what you can do in order to support this channel is hit the Patreon link in the description below, and it'll also be pinned in the comment section. And for $5 a month, that'll put us in a position to be able to take YouTube, or I should say to take TD Hip Hop Media off of YouTube and become a legitimate independent media platform. The goal is not to grow big on YouTube. The goal is to grow independent of YouTube, so we can have our own space to speak freely without fear of having to be shut down. Now, with all that being said, let's get into the topic at hand. And the topic today is going to be cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. It's a slight shift from the normal conversation of artificial intelligence and automation, but not too far off. I know a lot of you have been curious about blockchain technology and cryptocurrency, so I'm very happy to have had this great conversation with the brother by the name of Lynell. He has an excellent YouTube channel called Fool with Money, in which pretty much every day he goes live, and he goes live a couple times a day, but every morning, Monday through Friday, he goes live on his YouTube channel, Fool with Money, and he speaks on cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. And the great thing about it is that whatever questions that you have while he's live, you just type those into the comment section in the live chat, and he'll answer it for you right then and there on the spot. He does not ignore the live chat. So that's the beauty of being able to listen to watching his videos live, is that you can ask him questions, whatever questions you have on the topic of cryptocurrency, and he will answer it right then and there for you on the spot. So with all that being said, let's get into this great conversation, and please make sure you share this video with others as well, because as a people, we are always late to the party when it comes to this kind of information circulating around artificial intelligence, automation, cryptocurrency, and blockchain technology. As a people, we cannot afford to continue to be late to the party anymore. As much as we focus on racism, white supremacy, so on and so forth, we need to spend just as much time on these topics. The world is changing fast around us, and we cannot afford to be left behind. With all that finally being said, let's get into this conversation with me and Lynell. Hope you enjoy. Hey, what's going on, Lynell? How's everything going, brother?
I'm good. Yourself? How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing real good, man. First thing is first, man. I want to thank you for the work that you do on your channel, Food with Money, and all the good work you do talking about, and educating us on cryptocurrency and everything that's going on with that. Because that kind of information, when it comes to our people, we're the last ones to receive it.
Yeah.
So for the work that you're doing with that, I commend you for that, as well as the work that, you and the other brothers do on the other YouTube channel called Black Brain Trust, where there's a lot of conversation about, tech and IT, automation, artificial intelligence, the economy. Once again, this is all stuff that we're always late to the game with it when it hits our community.
Mm-hmm.
But, the work that you guys are doing, I thank you for that. Now, go ahead, for the people that's listening right now, just explain to them a little bit just who you are, what you do on Fool with Money, and just what your YouTube channel is all about.
Well, my name is Lynell Gant. I have the YouTube channel called Food with Money. It's about daily blockchain and cryptocurrency news and insights. So what I do is I go over the latest news in the cryptocurrency industry that can bleed also over to the blockchain industry, because what I notice when people think of cryptocurrency, they think of blockchain. It's one and the same. Well, it's not one and the same, but it's synonymous with each other. So a lot of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency news are, when you hear about that, you hear about blockchain also. And also, I delve into on that channel, Food with Money, some specific cryptocurrencies. Try to demystify the mystery around it, help people understand what it is. If people have any questions, I'm there to answer those questions because I know with a lot of noise on the internet, people may say yay, people may say nay. So what I tend to do is answer simple questions. Well, what is this? What is that? And then I'll go into, well, what institutions or what companies are getting into the cryptocurrency and blockchain industry to help people understand that this is starting to be, well, not starting to be, this is a viable up and coming asset class.
Now, what I want to do is start at the ground level, right? So just, in a nutshell, or not so in a nutshell, explain it however you will, the best way. Essentially, what is cryptocurrency? And then what is blockchain technology? And then what's the relation between the two?
Explaining what cryptocurrency is, you have to almost explain what Bitcoin is because Bitcoin is the first crypto that came to be. Now, I will say Bitcoin did not come out of nowhere. There were previous iterations of a digital asset coin or digital money or digital crypto. Bitcoin was the iteration that survived. So that's why it seemed like it came out of nowhere. You had other digital coins like Hashgraph and I want to say digital dollar, but I know that's not the name, but it. Bitcoin is the iteration that survived. So Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer, meaning I send money to you, you send money to me. There's no middleman, such as a bank, such as PayPal or any credit card, Visa, Mastercard, Cash App. So it's strictly peer-to-peer, digital money. So it's digital only over the internet, digitized money. It's more than that because it's programmable. You can program things into it, meaning you can put documents on this blockchain. You can put voting rights on this blockchain. You can put music on this blockchain, say, different things. Now, in terms of blockchain technology, blockchain is a DLT technology. DLT means distributed ledger technology. Blockchain is a version of a distributed ledger technology. I know a lot of people may say, well, digital ledger technology, because I hear this, I've heard this a few times. Digital ledger technology is nothing but a glorified database. And that's wrong because a database has a central point of authority, a central point in which all information is disseminated from. With digital ledger technology, everyone has an up-to-date ledger of what's going on within that network. So let's take Bitcoin for example, because we're talking about cryptocurrency. Everyone has a up-to-date ledger of who sent what to who, of what's going on Bitcoin's blockchain, which means every 10 minutes Bitcoin's blockchain is updated. So once that block is updated, or once that blockchain is updated, then everyone can have an up-to-date version of that blockchain. But a database is you have to go to their central point of authority to get that up-to-date information. Blockchain, it's updated automatically. It's continuously updated. You can't rewrite things that's been on it for years or that you got put on it. You can only update it. You can't rewrite it. It's immutable.
So, but so Bitcoin, it was created out of the blockchain technology, correct? Is that how it worked?
Well, Bitcoin created blockchain technology. So
Oh,
they
Bitcoin
right.
created block.
Well,
Okay.
well, no. What actually I misspoken. The person or persons who created crypto Bitcoin. So as you know, the person that created Bitcoin is called Satoshi Nakamoto. That is like saying John Smith. That is a vague name. That's a
Hmm.
common name in Japan, Satoshi Nakamoto. It No one knows who that person is or that group of people is. And there's a lot of speculation, but no one knows 100%. Um, it was born, the concept was born out of something called the cypherpunk slash libertarianism movement, which is a group of digital guys, well, online guys. They meet online and talk about um, cypherpunk, well, not specifically cypherpunk as in like cypherpunk, but libertarianism thing, government, big government, things like that. And one day back in 2008. They started talking about, well, this guy came on, his screen name was Satoshi Nakamoto, and said that, hey, I've come up with a peer-to-peer system, money system. And people were like, we don't believe you, because there were, like I said, previous iterations of that. And he put the white paper on. People started reading white paper, because one of the problems with um, sending money online was it's very important for me to not continuously to hold the $20 that I sent you. If I send you $20 and I still have that $20 that I sent you, that negates the whole fact. So, or the whole purpose. So what happened was he negated he came up with blockchain, the concept of blockchain, which is a distributed ledger technology. And he used that in order to solve things that other previous iterations of a cryptocurrency or a digital currency had problems with. So what he did was take aspects of previous digital assets, improve upon them. One thing that he took was the mining, the thought of mining. He took that from another project called Hashgraph, and he applied that to blockchain. So just know that both came to the party together. Both was introduced to the world together, but they're completely different things. The only reason people synonymize them together is because they were introduced to the world together. You know.
Now, now let's get into I'll say like the nitty gritty of like what a lot of people like really want to know, right? Because that, as you're explaining, the history, at least kind of the origins of blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin in general, it's easy to get lost in all that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll let the people from this point on do their own research into it, but that was a good kind of introduction. But, now what people really want to know about is, I'll say first and foremost this: when it comes to investing into cryptocurrency, um, is it worth it? Is this a fad that's just going to go away? Because I've heard a lot of people say that, all this cryptocurrency stuff and XRP and Bitcoin and blah, 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 it's going to go away eventually, So is it worth investing into?
I would say a lot of people say it's going to go away, because what I find out is people don't know about it, and they tend to hear and regurgitate what other people say. So when I say that, hey, when I throw out big names that are big, not names, but yeah, names and institutions that are into the space, then people tend to rethink what they say, because they don't know. So if I say, hey, well, JP Morgan Chase is in the space, because what JP Morgan Chase did was Ethereum. Ethereum is the second largest per market capitalization, per market capitalization cryptocurrency. The first one is obviously Bitcoin. What JP Morgan did was they took Ethereum's code and they created their own enterprise version of Ethereum called Quorum. Now, as of now, there's two popular distributed ledger type systems. There's blockchain and something called Hyperledger. Hyperledger is enterprise. They're dealing with enterprises like big business. So what JP Morgan did was took Ethereum's code and enterprised it and called it Hyperledger Quorum. Now it's Quorum. So Ethereum has something called the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, and its members include JP Morgan Chase, Santander Bank, which is a large European bank. It includes Microsoft. It includes Rutgers College. It includes a host of other large enterprise companies. That's Ethereum. Now, you mentioned XRP. XRP is a project Ripple's XRP is a project in which what they want to do is allow you to send money across borders, so from one country to the next, seamlessly, fast, cheap. Now, I've sent money to Nigeria using Western Union, Nigeria and Uganda to via Western Union, and the fees are ridiculous. It was a couple dollars. I'm like, why is it? In the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, why is it so expensive? So what they want to do is allow you to send money cheaply, meaning it'll cost a few cents and you'll get it within a few seconds. Because a lot of times what happened is the dreaded, and people would say, well, you're better off getting on a plane, flying to wherever you want to send the money at, drop it off personally. And it's true. Yeah, it's true. It's true because people know the dreaded sending money on a Friday afternoon. That person will not get the money until Tuesday morning. It's like that. And with XRP, which is the third largest crypto, they are sending money currently right now via their platform called on-demand liquidity, and it's being settled in seconds, real time. And back in June, I believe this was June, what they did was they purchased a $20 million equity stake into MoneyGram with an option over the next 2 years to bump it up to $50 million. At the time, MoneyGram stock was $1.60. They purchased a $20 million equity stake at a premium of $4.10 per share. Overnight, oh, I kid you not, overnight, MoneyGram stock went up over 100%. And now,
wow.
right, and now MoneyGram stock, um, I think the ticker symbol is MSI MGI. MoneyGram stock is trading little over or at $4.10 range. So when people say these cryptocurrencies are fiat, they'll go past. These are the same. Now, I will say, not all cryptos will pass, but the top tier, I call them top tier blue chip ones. Those they have enough money to purchase stakes into banks, into major organizations and institutions that you're already using right now. So there's about over 4,000 cryptos on the market. Not all of them are worthy. There's a lot of zombie dead projects out there, but the top tier ones, nah, they're here to stay, man. They are here to stay.
So they're all in. So for the most part, the top tier ones, they're pretty much all in play right now. Like people are actually using this stuff.
Yep. And what tends to happen is when people, it's funny because a lot of people don't like Twitter, and I didn't like Twitter because I didn't find it useful. Like, why am I using Twitter? I don't see the use. But since I've been dealing with crypto, all crypto news is on Twitter. You know, it kind of break first on Twitter, so it'll be these back and forths between this camp and this camp, and it's all uh, superfluous. You know, it's Bitcoin maximalists, people who just believe in Bitcoin, and then they'll say, "Oh, XRP a bankster's coin. It's no use, blah blah blah." You know, we're trying to get rid of the banks. The banks are not going anywhere, by the way. Then the XRP, they call them XRP Army. XRP Army, like, how can you say that when it take at least 10 minutes to get your Bitcoin from one exchange to the other one? I could just use XRP, send it to one exchange at the other about whatever I want, and you still sitting there waiting for your Bitcoin to get there. So it's like they go back and forth. It's funny though. It's funny, but the top tier crypto has been there since that that ranking. They've been there. That ranking has been there for years, you know, and they're doing hundreds of millions of dollars in volume. When I say volume, I mean 24-hour volume. 24-hour volume, they're doing hundreds of millions of dollars. So you can't say, oh, yeah, the Bitcoin, and I know people are going to ask this question, or people want to in the comments, okay, this is going to be on YouTube, right?
Yeah, YouTube.
So people are going to be in the comments and say, well, what about the bubble back in 2017? because that's like a go-to, you know. The people,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, gotcha, you know. You ain't got no answer for that, huh? That's why it's five because you know, got you. You know, you can't answer that. Well, we got word the former chairman of the CFTC because cryptocurrencies are under is labeled a commodity right now. Is under the in America. So the CFTC is over commodities. The CF Commodities Futures Trading Commission, CFTC. The former chairman, J. Christopher Giancarlo, he spoke to a cryptocurrency news outlet called CoinDesk. He was interviewed, and he was saying back in 2017, well, he just recently he just recently was relieved of his post because every few years they filter out what they cycle through. And he was saying that back in 2017, the American government was fearful of the Bitcoin bubble because Bitcoin went up exponentially in 2017. At the beginning of 2017, it was around $350, and it went up. It scraped $20,000. So let's say $19,900. And he was saying that what the government did was they came in, they said, we think this is a bubble. So they talked to different government agencies and they talked to the SEC, the CFTC, and they came up with something called Bitcoin futures. And Bitcoin futures debuted, I forgot, like sometime in late December. And that was all she wrote. Somehow the futures platform burst the bubble, the crypto or the Bitcoin bubble of 2017. And he's saying this, and this is the chairman of the CFTC. Right now, his name is Heath Tarbert, and he recently said that Ethereum is a commodity. So we already had word that Bitcoin was labeled a commodity. So now he's saying that Ethereum is a commodity. So at least the first two cryptocurrencies are per market cap are labeled are commodities. They're not securities; they're commodities. So yeah, it's people are getting into this. We know that, and I know you have some more questions for me, but
No, keep going.
well, we know that millionaires are getting into or buying up crypto because, again, on my show Food Money, we cover that. We cover articles that say, "Hey, it's a lady. She's in London. She's an art dealer, I think." And she would say how millionaires would approach what her whole thing is connecting people who want to buy Bitcoin with people who want to sell Bitcoin. So, and people would approach what I got this article on my Evernote. One person said that they wanted to buy 1% of all currently circulating Bitcoin, but there was nobody out there to provide them that. So millionaires are getting into it. Yeah. Uh,
Now, is it? Oh no, go ahead before I ask the next question.
I was going to say, I was going to point out Fidelity is in crypto too. If you go to the fidelitydigitalassets.com, for those who listen, go to fidelitydigitalassets.com. They provide digital asset trading for institutions, for right now, for institutions, that is.
So, with all this being said, another question that comes up in people's mind is it too late to even wait to even bother investing into cryptocurrency? Because when you talk about 2017 and how I think you said back in 2017, before the bubble, we'll say, Bitcoin was like only $300, $300 a share, $300 a coin. Then, obviously the bubble comes and it goes up to about, I think it was what, $10,000. And it's funny because and it makes me mad at the same time. Like I'm sure a lot of people, because I actually heard about Bitcoin, I believe it was back in 2015. A friend of mine, no, not well, a coworker of mine, he was explaining it to me. And but the problem was when he was explaining it to me, he was talking about things that people do with Bitcoin that they probably shouldn't do, and I'll just leave it at that. I'm sure you've heard about that kind of stuff, little
Silk
underground
Road.
online.
Yes,
Yeah.
Silk Road.
So that like turned me away from it. I was like, he was explaining, oh yeah, mining Bitcoin and blah blah blah, and my brother mines Bitcoin, and he sells the Bitcoin for like, I don't know, I think it's like $100 per Bitcoin. My point is that I say all that to say, when you see big jumps like that, when you hear things like, oh, it was $100, it was $300, and then it shot up to 10,000, your kind of immediate reaction to it is, I missed the boat. So when it comes to with cryptocurrency at large, whether you're talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, whatever, is it too late? Should people,
I was I would
mhm,
say no, because you don't have to purchase an entire Bitcoin. Right now, I'm looking at the markets. Bitcoin is $8,673. Not too many people have $8,673.25 sitting around for them to just jump in. And on top of that, if a lot of people do have it, the learning curve to how to acquire a Bitcoin is at least a couple hours searching on YouTube of, okay, so how do I do this? And not only searching how do I do this on YouTube, but sifting through the clickbait videos on YouTube saying, oh, Bitcoin gonna be $1 billion three days from now, because you have that on YouTube. So
yeah. When you say that, I think about kind of. I say I look at it, your trademark Moon Lambo, We're going to
yeah,
the moon.
yeah, it's all over YouTube. So the that crowds the waters. That type of stuff crowds the water. It makes it just too much noise. So I would say no. You don't like I said. You don't have to purchase the entire full Bitcoin. You can purchase a fraction. You can
Mhm.
purchase Ethereum is $185. XR so Ethereum is $185. Ethereum's all-time high was around 12 or $1,300.
Mm.
XRP is 26 cents. XRP all-time high was I'm gonna say $4, depending on what exchange you look at. I'm gonna say $4. It was about $3 and some odd cent. But yeah, I would say no to Bitcoin Cash because it's a clone to Bitcoin. And what tends to happen is when people get into the space, they'll say, "Well, I can't purchase one Bitcoin, but this Bitcoin Cash is only $278, or Bitcoin SV is only $125." But I would say no to those because of the history of those, because of what they are and why they're here. So you have to learn what's going on in the space, what's going on, what's the as they say, what's the T, and
Mhm.
and it's no different between and it's no difference from the regular stock market because the whole WeWork deal, that whole drama, people were prepared to pay a lot of money to own a share of WeWork if they would have went IPO, but the whole commotion went out. So you have to understand. But to answer your question, you, it's not too late. You can purchase a fraction of a Bitcoin.
Mhm.
You can purchase a fraction of Ethereum. You can purchase a few fractions, or one or two, or whatever XRP. We always say, don't invest more than you're comfortable with investing. People may say, don't invest more if you're if what did I say? If if you're prepared to lose this money, common things. But yeah,
Yeah.
so
Well, and with that being said, because a lot of people don't even know that, when it comes to Bitcoin, like what you're saying, you can purchase a fraction of it. Like you could just get you a Coinbase account, and if all you want to, and it's not just Bitcoin, there's other coins as well, like XRP, like the top one. We'll just stick with like kind of the top 5 or top 10. When it comes
mhm,
to that, you can set up a Coinbase account on Coinbase.com and just I want to get $5 worth of Bitcoin. I want to get $5 worth of XRP. You know what I mean? And just do it, little by little like that as an investment.
yep. You
So
can even go to Coinbase Earn, and it'll teach you
mhm.
about some of these cryptos, and it'll pay you in the
What
cryptos
is it
that you're
called?
going.
Say that again. It's called Coinbase Earn.
Yep, Coinbase Earn.
And what do they do on there?
So you'll learn about what Ethereum is. You'll learn about what EOS is. You'll learn about what BAT, like the BAT token is, and the Brave browser, like an actual internet browser. That's the one I use in my videos. You'll learn what Stellar is, and they'll pay you in those. They'll tell you pay about what, between $10 and $30 in those cryptos. So,
Oh,
all right,
I
I
didn't
know.
even know about that.
Yeah, Coinbase Earn.
All right, I got to note that one. Coinbase Earn. Like, I had no idea about Coinbase Earn. That's a good
Yep.
resource right there. That's the tool.
And I will say, like, link in my description, but I'm not on my YouTube channel. Yeah.
Well, considering those things that you have Coinbase, right?
Hmm.
You have Coinbase would be as far as technical terms, that's considered an exchange, correct?
Yeah.
You said yes? Oh, okay, yes, okay. So now with when it comes to exchanges, because like we've talked about already, outside of the top 5 or top 10, cryptocurrencies, there's literally thousands of cryptocurrency. Like, I mean, even the rapper Akon has a cryptocurrency. I think it's called like Acoin. You know,
Hmm.
so like there's a lot out there. I bring that up to say this. I remember before XRP got onto Coinbase, because I like to buy XRP. Before XRP was on Coinbase, you couldn't, or at least they said you couldn't purchase XRP with US dollars, right? Now, I found an exchange, I believe it was back in 2017, sometime early 2018, that you could purchase XRP with US dollars.
Was it
The
cracking?
issue, no, it wasn't correct. I signed up for them, but they were having issues and they didn't get me registered. Or it took a long time for them to do whatever they had to do, some sort of a
Yeah.
background thing. It took forever.
Mhm.
But I believe it was called Bitstamp, if I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
mistaken.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and my point is with that, if I remember correctly, Bitstamp is an overseas exchange. It's not American Rand. It was overseas. I believe it's somewhere in Europe. Because I made it a
Yeah.
point to not get an exchange that's like in Asia, just for whatever, anything China, whatever scares me. You know what I mean? So it's
Mhm.
like, so I'm just like, nah, I'm not gonna do an exchange that's over there. But my point is, or my question is that how safe is that? Because I did it. Like I said, Bitstamp it's an overseas exchange. It's not American. So with that being said, I had to give up information that most people aren't comfortable with. I think like I sent them a picture of my driver's license. It was something crazy, but I had to give them like a lot of personal information. But
Yeah.
I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna take the chance because I want to invest. So would you recommend that, or would you have people hold off until you can find the Bitcoin, or you can find the cryptocurrency you're looking for on an American exchange? Would you recommend, what I did, or would you say hold off on that?
I would say hold off because people may not be as gung ho in doing this. Because if they were gung ho, they would have done it already. For those that
Mm,
are listening to this, they still want more information. So I would say hold off on it because that means they haven't done it already. They are not comfortable with doing that.
mm,
Now, there are luckily there are a lot of exchanges in America that um have a plethora of cryptocurrencies on them. Coinbase has added a lot of cryptocurrencies. You have Binance, which they opened their American version of their exchange, Binance US, and I'm gonna say you have Kraken, but Kraken, ooh, to me, Kraken's user interface is horrible. It's
mm,
confusing, but are if you want that, you'll figure out. I mean, it's not hard where where you throw your hands up and say, "Well, I don't know how to use this." So, I mean, it's like a 5 minute learning curve. But there are some exchanges in America that people can go to,
mm,
and
mm,
when people do their taxes, and I want to say this for people who get into this crypto space, do not listen to people that say, "Oh, um, crypto is meant for you not to do your taxes." You can believe them all you want to, but the government will find you. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow. It but it will be at the most inopportune time. So there's
mm,
ways to do your cryptocurrencies. It's really easy. It's really easy. Me personally, I use tokentax.co. But when you're doing that, you have to fill out something called an F bar, meaning you have to report to the government if you have money overseas, because they want to know.
Mm.
And some people may feel like, okay, well, that makes me scared. There are
Mm-hmm,
people like that.
mm-hmm.
I'm frightened because of that. Money overseas, because they've always heard that, oh, offshore accounts and the rich are doing this because they just hear bad things. It's not that. The IRS will work with you as long as you don't try to throw the middle finger up in their face. But they will work with
Mm-hmm. And when it comes to that, do you pay taxes on crypto if you cash out, or is it just kind of annually, just if whatever you're holding, you got to pay taxes on? How does that work?
you. Yeah, when you cash out. So,
Okay, only when you cash out.
well, no, 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 no. Actually, what happens is, so okay, so if you hold XRP, right, and you want to change out of XRP, go back into Bitcoin, go back to Ethereum, or any other cryptocurrency, you have to report that because you're trading positions. If you spend,
Mm,
so if you spend your Bitcoin, you have to report that because it's a transaction. And if you go outside, well, if you cash back into fiat money or cash, you have to provide that information. So, and it's easy because it's a blockchain. It's a continuously updated ledger of what's going on. And if you're doing everything with an exchange or on a wallet that's on your computer, only thing you have to do is download they call it CSV, comma separated value files onto one of these tax services that do for your crypto. You download it, the information, they'll tally everything up for you, and you just give that to your accountant. The person does the tax, and that's it.
okay, so it's very easy to handle that thing, because I know that for a lot of people that seems like kind of scary, just because cryptocurrency, it's a new currency essentially. You know what I mean? So when it comes to paying taxes on it, that just sounds even kind of throws you off. Like, I got to pay taxes on cryptocurrency, because I think I've heard, and I believe, like you mentioned, I've heard people online saying that you don't have to pay taxes on crypto and so on and so forth. But
That is,
obviously, that's a lie. That's not true.
yeah, that is a lot. The government, IRS come after you. It's like the for those who have dabbled in stocks, it's like that. It's just that there's more ways that you can get taxed into crypto. With stocks, you just pay taxes if you go in and out your position. But with crypto, not only if you go in and out positions, but if you cash out to fiat, if
Mm,
you know, so it's more ways you can get taxed into crypto. That's the only thing. So it's not like, oh, don't pay your taxes on crypto. It's not wasn't made for that. The government don't care. You if you got Bitcoin at $10 and you felt like, well, I think it'll be the future. I'm gonna put $1,000 in it, and now you got all this Bitcoin. Then you got like what 100 Bitcoin, and now you cash out at $20,000. The government not gonna avoid. Hey, you gotta pass that collection plate on to us, or some of that. They want their money. They not gonna just sit around and say, okay, they got me a lot of money. Wow, wish I could be him. Nah,
yeah, they said, no, you're gonna give me some of that. I need
right.
that.
Yeah, and it may be what 10, 15, 20. Well, I won't be 20% because you held it for a very long time, but it's gonna be the regular taxed amount of
Hmm.
that's all.
Okay, and also, just kind of as a, because on this show I dive a lot and I speak a lot on artificial intelligence and automation. Right, that's kind of the main focus. And I like to give people a look forward on what's to come, concerning AI, automation, and the tech world at large, and how we prepare to enter into that space. Because the fourth industrial revolution, it's already begun. You know what I mean? So what you want to do is set yourself up accordingly, like I always talk about on this show, to not get left behind. With that being said, how does crypto look in the future? Just in your opinion, from what you everything that you've gathered, will there no longer be at some point, fiat currency, the paper money that we have in our pockets? Is it just going to be like all crypto? And obviously, we don't know even when that would happen, but just for the foreseeable possible future, how does that work? A future with crypto only, if that's the case, or if you think that'll be the case.
Okay, well, so this is going to be a long answer by me. I'm gonna be a little bit long-winded on me. So if I get off topic, just reel me back in.
Okay.
For the internet is so ubiquitous now. It's everywhere. It's, well, not ubiquitous, but omnipresent. It's everywhere, in some type of capacity. If we got Facebook, I mean, we are talking to each other via the internet, like a VoIP call, voice over internet protocol. So
Mm.
Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, just Tinder, whatever, because people always talk about Tinder and stuff like that. So a lot of that stuff, when people were talking about the internet back in 92, 93, we people knew that it was something, but to foresee and to forecast what it could be was just super imagination. Even Napster. Napster came out, what, 99?
Mm-hmm.
The people that were dreaming about the internet and trying to preach the gospel of the internet back, of what it will be back in the early 90s, they couldn't foresee Napster. And that was what, 6, 7 years away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So internet, we people couldn't imagine. Like, wow, no smartphones. I'm, even though I'm a millennial, I'm an older millennial. I was there when I saw Steve Jobs unveil the smartphone. Now this smartphone has more computer power than the space landing of '69. It's a lot of power in it, and we carry these things in our pocket. We drop them on the floor. We break the screen. We we throw them. We don't. We go around living on the edge. We're not carrying a case on them, and it's
Mm-hmm.
so much power on
Mm-hmm.
our fingertips. With crypto, we know this is a game-changing technology. Companies say it, institutions say it, investors say it. You know, those same people that preached the new technology of GPS, of the internet back in the 90s, are saying the same thing about blockchain and cryptocurrency. And those are just two of the fourth industrial revolution technologies. Where crypto is going to be, I specifically, obviously, no one specifically knows. But we are moving to a more cashless society. When I was younger, I used to make fun of older people in my head of like, why she got all that money in her purse? She don't never spend it. Why money in the purse? And I'm notorious for saying that I've carried around the same $10 in my wallet for months. I don't pay dollars for anything. And I had to break it the other day, and I'm like, "Why am I put this change?" It's like, what? It's so it's like inconvenience. Like I'm walking
Yeah.
around, ching ching, with change in my pockets. Like, oh my god! Like I pay for my haircut, cash out, and I know I'm not the only person to do that. I know I'm not the only person to pay for their haircut and cash out. It's like we're heading to a more cashless society, and we've been there for a while because of credit cards, because of PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, Cash App. So we're I will say cryptocurrency will make the money and monetary system more efficient and more effective. I will say that specifically what all it will entail, we don't know because we're still on the doorsteps. We don't, there's people making tip bots on Twitter where you can tip XRP, where you can tip BAT tokens. It's the Brave browser pays you for surfing the internet. If you just click on the little ads that they serve you based on what you surf on the internet, they pay you. So man, it's amazing. I specifically don't know, but I can say that the future with just these two technologies is bright.
That's definitely for sure. As it pertains to just because it is definitely, like you said, hard to even predict or wrap your mind around what it's going to be. I was reading articles outside of Bitcoin and blockchain, just about artificial intelligence and automation and just the tech world in general. And in the article, they were explaining how our children, because I have a 6-year-old son, by the time he's my age, I'm 34 now, they'll be working jobs that we weren't even able to conceive right now in 2019. Like, it's going to be ridiculous. And even when you use the example of the smartphone, I'll even go before then. I remember the first time I saw a color screen cell phone. I
Yeah,
think I
yeah,
was I think I was either junior or senior in high school. It was over the summer. And I think I had a little summer job and I was on my break, and I went to the cell phone store, just to go, just browsing around, knowing that I'm not getting anything because I was only 16, 17, you know. And it was I'll never forget, it was a Sony Ericsson, and it was color screen. And it blew my mind just looking at it. If you saw that phone now, you would think that it's a toy, like for my
yeah,
son.
yeah,
So if you would have told me the things that we're doing with our cell phones now, back when I first saw the Sony Ericsson, I would never believed you. I would have been like, "You're crazy. How is that even possible? You
right,
get out of my face.
right.
Get
I
out of here."
remember,
So, go ahead.
I remember the phone I had when I saw Apple's keynote when they unveiled the first iPhone. I had
Mhm.
the blackjack. It had the full QWERTY keyboard on the phone, and I looked at that phone like, nope, I don't want this no more. I want that was on the screen because when he unveiled it at the time, we know Apple, they like it's like magic. They throw those words out there, but at that time, it really was like magic. It was like, what in the blue, like what is that? And it was automatic. I want that. I want that. Like my daughter, she's 13. Well,
Mhm.
no, she's about to be 13. She's 12, but her phone was broken. She got an iPhone. Phone was broken, and I was gonna get it fixed. Well, I was getting it fixed, but my mother said that she's going to. It's I had to get you gotta go to like the corporate Sprint store. I'm like, man, ain't no corporate Sprint store around me. I gotta go to the suburbs. Oh my goodness. So my mother was like, it's one near my job because she worked downtown Chicago. So I said, okay, cool. I'll give you the money. You go get it fixed. And my mother told my daughter that she'll get her phone. She's gonna get her phone fixed. My daughter's like, yeah, cool, yeah, okay, cool, fine, fine, fine. But it required it required her to not have the phone. And my daughter's like, no, okay. She could not let that phone go. It was like you gonna take the phone away from me for like what 10 hours? No, I'd rather keep a broken phone because she liked to draw and she draw on her phone and stuff. So it
Mhm.
was like I remember and this feed into like our kids grow up, they're gonna have jobs that are different. So we were going somewhere and I had her bring up the map on her Google Maps on her phone. And I say, Tease, let me see your phone, so I can, follow along. And she kept looking at me like, "Okay, you got my phone? You got my phone? You got my," like, she just could
Mhm.
not. let it go. I'm like, geez, I'm not about to do nothing with this phone. It's already screen already cracked with a case on it. It's you know, I don't want your phone, because I always get her like a model below mine, like, oh, like I don't want your phone, but she can't leave it alone. So
Mhm.
I agree with you. Our children are gonna have different jobs than we. Yeah.
And the last thing I'll ask before we shut it down, and hopefully I can have you on a couple more times in the future
Oh,
because I
no
literally
problem.
have a million and one questions in my head, like but you can't get to all of it in one call. But I think that the most kind of one of the most important questions I'll ask before I close, as it pertains to researching cryptocurrency, because the natural progression from here for those that listen to this conversation, this entirety, that they're going to go to, they're already on YouTube. They're going to hit the search bar and they're going to go, Bitcoin, how to invest, cryptocurrency, whatever the case may be, to do their research. How do you not fall into? How do you not? How do you know how to look out for clickbait videos? Is my question. What
Oh,
what do you look out for, or what would they be saying? How do you avoid that? Because I'm very fortunate to have come across you. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
so, but there's so many clickbaity videos of people giving you misinformation that is crazy. So what do you look out for to kind of avoid that?
I would say the first easiest way, and it's gonna seem like a joke, but it's not a joke. When they have the rocket ships and the man with the spacesuit on the moon with a Lamborghini on the surface of the moon, like, wind moon. When they talk about all that crap, they about to pump you up. Um,
Mhm.
there's a concept obviously called FOMO, fear of missing out. So you FOMO into the market because you fear that, oh, this person said that it's about to go up next week. I need to get in now. Well, that person, take a look at that person's video history on their YouTube channel. If they has a history, if they have to look at the thumbnails and the titles of the videos. If they have a history of saying the same thing over and over again without anything happening, then you know not to listen to that person.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of times, what happens is me. I listen to a few. Okay, when I first made my channel, I was already in the crypto space for a couple of years, and I made it because I said, I can do this too. I can report on news. I know what's going on because I listened to a few people, and after a while, you kind of know the scenery. And I specifically say I'm not here to pump you up on price. When people start talking about price, they're about to pump you up. They're like, "Oh, this thing can go to $10." It's like, "Oh my God, would you shut up? You don't know what you're talking about." So
Mhm.
I sometimes you just have to sift through a few people because the only thing you need is a handful of people to give you the news. What tends to happen is everybody talks about the same thing, but you only need a handful of people giving you the news, and not a lot of those. So sift through, see who people that you can trust them disseminating information without talking about price. Because on some of my videos, I'll bring up, I say, well, like the V Chain partnership with China and France. Well, no, no, no. They didn't partner with China and France. China and France had a partnership deal, and they're using VeChain technology. And now, instead of me saying, well, this is huge, da 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 da, VeChain is going to go up to got to be $1 next month. I'm not saying it. I'm saying as well. Let's look at what this can do. And I brought up the BRI, which is the Belt and Road Initiative by China, and I pointed out that if China's using VeChain to to track products between China and France. Let's now say in the video was let's put on our thinking cap. What if they use VeChain or another tracking blockchain for other places along the BRI, such as Kazakhstan, such as India, such as Europe. So it's more of thinking where this can go instead of thinking where a project can go. Giving ideas instead of it's going to go up to $10,000. No. Mm-mm.
Mhm. So what you want to look out for, in short, right, is you first off you wanna look out for the clickbaity thumbnails. And literally speaking, if you see a moon and a rocket going to the moon with a man in a spacesuit and a Lamborghini, stay away.
Man, you were about to get pumped up.
You're about to get pumped up. Watch out for people
Right.
talking price points, saying that, oh, this is going to go up. Even if they say it's going to go up 50 cents, the fact of the matter is you don't know. So anybody that's sitting there telling you, oh, the price is going to go up 50 cents, let alone Bitcoin is going to go up to 20,000 by next week, that's a red flag right there. Just stay away. Clickbaity thumbnails, clickbaity titles, which, obviously would be, oh, this is skyrocketing to the moon, whatever. And people trying to predict pricing, because you can't predict that.
Yeah, it's a lot of them, and people may think we're over exaggerating, but we're not. They are
Mhm.
like that. It's
And
it's
I've seen them. It's crazy, especially like the thumbnails. Some of
mm.
the thumbnails you see, it's like, wow, especially once you know better, it's like, wow, you're really trying to just bring me in here. Like,
Hey, what's funny is the comments, because some people pointed out, like, dude, you need to stop this, man. And the comments
Mhm,
are funny, are hilarious. So yeah, yeah.
mhm,
If for the people that more talk about substance, it's like, okay, well, there's a few people out there that's like, okay, don't invest in this because this coin's liquidity is trash. It's like some coins may be liquidity or 24-hour volume is $1,500. That's trash. That's like nothing. So it's some people that talk about that, but it's not a lot of us.
mhm, mhm. All right, for sure, man. Well, I appreciate you joining me today, and all the knowledge that you were able to give us today. And like I said, there's so many more questions, and the conversation can go on and on forever. But let people know the name of your YouTube channel again, where they can find you at, contact information, whatever you want the people to be left with, at right now at the end.
Yeah, my YouTube channel name is Fool with Money, full space with space money, no, regular words. And I'm be the black guy smiling in the photo with YouTube channel colors of what's that, red and gold behind it. So it's pretty easy. I do the early morning crypto show Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, where we talk about the latest news that come out, and I normally release regular videos throughout the day, like 10-minute videos, talking about what's going on into some coins. Obviously, I can't cover all the cryptos. I tend to stay at the top ones. There's over 5,000 cryptos. So yeah, food with money. Easy dissemination of information for you to help you understand what's going on in the crypto sphere.
So I'll make sure to leave the link in the description below, as well as pin in the comment section, so everybody can be able to go to Food with Money and subscribe to that channel, because it's a great channel. I listen to it regularly, just almost every day, just to get the latest news and information on what's going on. And what's so great about it is that you're live for the most part. Almost every show you do is live. So that way, for those of you that actually go to the channel, you're watching the videos, if you're catching Lynell live, you can ask him questions in the comments section, in the live chat, and he will respond to you. It's not like a lot of other people that go live. Granted, most people have bigger audiences, so they don't catch the chats, or they just kind of ignore them because it'll throw them off. But I've done it a bunch of times. Other people do it. Every time I watch it, people ask Lionel questions and he answers them directly. So I mean, that's just another great way to get your questions off outside of whatever you might have heard me ask just now.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you, appreciate it, man. No, and no problem. You got me on, no problem. I don't mind answer questions because it helps sharpen up the skills.
For sure, man. Well, I appreciate having you on, brother.
All right, you take it easy.